Hello class and welcome to this Super Mario Bros. NES walkthrough on Video Games 101 by way of Let's Play with Brigands. I'm your instructor, Professor Brigands, and if it sounds like there's a bit more excitement in my voice than normal, it's for a good reason. Class, give a warm Video Games 101 welcome to our special, distinguished guest TA for the day, Mario. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did! It's a bit redundant, I know, but after nearly 1 billion copies sold, I don't hear anyone complaining. And that's billion with a B!
Wow, that's incredible. Well, let me just say thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to come do this for us today. You know, it's not every day we get a living legend to join us in a walkthrough, believe me, so thank you again.
Hey, it'll be fun taking this walk down memory lane for my first adventure. Honestly, the 80s are kind of a blur to me with all the mushrooms I did.
Yeah, well, let's run the intro and get into the game.
Very good.
Hey Mario, would you mind reading this?
It's no problem. Please remember to receive full credit for this class. Please like and comment on this video, and you must subscribe if you haven't already. How was that?
That was great. And while you're here, could you record like a promotional line for the channel? Just like, hey, this is Mario, and Let's Play with Brigands is the best Let's Play channel out there.
Oh, but I don't know if that's true. Mario would look pretty silly if you said your channel was the best and I later found out it isn't.
Well, yeah, but...
I mean, have you got an award or something from a accredited organization? And how many subscribers do you have?
You know what? Never mind. Don't worry about that. Let's just get into the Super Mario Bros. NES walkthrough.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the controls before we start our game. Very straightforward. Left is left, right is right, down ducks when you're big. Start pause is the game. You can hold B to gain speed or shoot out fireballs when you have the fire flower. And of course, A jumps, very important in a Mario game. And also you can hold A and press start if you lose all your lives to restart on the world that you died on. Pretty basic, doesn't get much easier than that, right Mario?
Those were simpler times indeed, Professor, back when things made sense.
Well, they were certainly simpler. Speaking of which, as we get into the game, this first level is pretty straightforward. I don't think anyone's going to have any problems with it, and incidentally, our game fact finder Fluff has something to tell us about it. Fluff?
Thank you, Professor. Yes, they didn't have the capacity to make a designated tutorial in games at the time, so famed game designer Shigeru Miyamoto intentionally designed this first level to effectively act as the tutorial for the game, so players could learn the game's mechanics with virtually no obstacles or enemies to contend with.
Very cool. Thank you, Fluff. Fluff, do you have anything you wanted to say to Mr. Mario? You know, gaming icon right here.
Yes, Mario, I was just wondering, why are there no cats in your games?
Fluff, no, we talked about this. This is not the forum for that.
He's okay. I guess your cat friend is conveniently forgetting about Cat Mario.
Oh, you're referring to the cat that you skinned alive and climbed into. Besides which, that was Super Mario 3D World in 2013. That only took you, what, 30 years?
Hey, we got Goombas, man. Close enough, right?
What the hell is a Goomba anyway? And how dare you compare the beauty and grace of a cat with...
Fluff, that'll be all. Let's not sandbag our guest. Mario, I am so sorry.
It's okay, Professor. I'm used to it. I'm a Mario. He was funny.
Yeah, well, let's try to get back to the game now.
Very good.
Here in the underground area with another famous Koji Kondo-made theme. Cool thing here is going up into the score area at the top of the screen. It's pretty cool, kind of like hacking the game here. Felt like a genius when you figured this out when you were a kid.
Yeah, that's how you can warp ahead to level 4-1.
I was just about to say that, that's right. If you ride this elevator up and jump to the right, you can do that.
So, why aren't you doing it?
Well, we pointed it out, but we're gonna go ahead to the next level in order.
We not warping?
No, Mario, our class wants to see the whole game. This is a Super Mario Bros. NES walkthrough. We walk you through the whole game in Video Games 101.
Professor, can I talk to you over here?
Sure.
Did you talk to my assistant Shannon?
Yeah, but...
So she told you I have dinner with Peach and a baby Mario tonight. I cannot stay late.
Yeah, we talked... Wait, how would that even work? Anyway, yeah, we talked to Sharon. She told us we had an hour with you, though. I mean, you of all people should know this game's only a half an hour long, Mario.
Well...
Trust me, I'm pretty good at this game anyway. It'll fly by. Besides, it won't be a good look if you leave now.
All right, a half an hour. Just no more of that cat, okay?
Well, people like to learn fun facts about the games while we play, and that's kind of his thing.
Hey, you're looking at the game, am I right, Professor? I'll tell you what you need to know.
All right, so are we good?
Okay, yeah, we are burning daylight, so let's get back to it. You are gonna edit that last part out, right?
Yeah, I'll have Fluff edit this one. I'll tell him.
Okay, so we are gonna head to the next level now. Sorry, Professor, I know you wanted to warp, but we are going to 1-3.
Yeah. Sorry, class, I don't know what came over me.
Hey, I guess I just care more than you do. It's alright, it's alright.
Yeah. Mario, actually, I'm thinking, before we move on, the class would probably love to know how they can get to level -1 from that last warp area that we were just at. Can you tell us anything about that?
Level -1? What the heck are you... it's your class, Professor. Why don't you tell us about it?
Sure, Mario. So I just got a text from one of my TAs, doesn't matter which. But if you knock out these 2 bricks at the end of World 1-2, and you jump in just the right spot while you're crouched, it's kind of tricky to pull off, but if you can do it, you'll slide through the wall, and then if you go in this first warp pipe, it's going to take you to World -1, which is a water level, and it just kind of goes on and on forever, basically. There is an end with another pipe at the end, but it's just going to kind of pop you back out at the start of this level again. So your own personal hell, basically. But in case you were wondering, that is how you get to World -1 in Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that's how you do it. -1. Although I'd say if you are doing that, you have way too much time on your hands, but nevertheless, 1-3.
That's right, so they're starting to introduce quite a bit of pits now, so you gotta be careful here. 1-3.
What are you playing this on a ColecoVision, Professor? What the heck is going on with the frame rate?
Touche, Mario. Fair enough. Just watch out for the pits and the platforms here. Careful stepping. Plenty of flying turtles to contend with, but just like that, we are finally on to the first castle level here in Super Mario Brothers. We got some fireworks there. Seems kind of random when we get the fireworks, and the number always seems to be different. Is there any rhyme or reason for that, Mario?
What do I know about fireworks, Professor? I'm already in the castle at that point. They are probably just excited to see a Mario.
Bowser's excited about seeing you?
Like I said, I'm just at the start. You have to ask one of the below-the-line people. Oh, nice work there, getting hit by that fire.
We're coming up on the boss of Super Mario Brothers. Let's throw it to our boss expert, Gary.
It's Scary Gary's Boss Beaters.
Alright, thank you very much, Professor. So the strategy with Bowser in Super Mario Bros. 1 is pretty much always the same. We need to get behind him to hit that switch and drop him into the lava. Or you can use fireballs to take him down, but you can go above or underneath to get past him, or if you have a mushroom, just run right through him and sacrifice it, and you've beaten Bowser.
Alright, thank you very much, Gary.
Oh, Professor, can I ask Mario a question real quick?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Hi Mario, this is a huge honor for me. I just gotta ask because bosses are my life, but what was it like working with Bowser, arguably the most famous boss of all time?
Hey, he complained about falling into the lava over and over, which I can actually sympathize with, because in those days, we didn't have the budget for a stunt doubles. Well, not 2 anyway. So he really did fall into the lava 8 times per game.
Well, sometimes he just got burned to death by fireballs you'd shoot at him.
You say that like it's better. You want a Mario to shoot a dozen fireballs at you?
No, I'm alright.
So how did it all resolve?
Well, after the game went on to become one of the best selling of all time, Bowser wanted a percentage when they were making Mario 2.
Sure.
So yeah, that's why you don't see a Bowser in Mario 2.
Ouch.
No, it's alright. They worked out his contract and brought him back for SMB3, and even got to put his kids in the game.
That's true. Alright. Well, thanks, Gary.
Thank you. Just Mario, one more time, what a huge honor, thank you.
Don't mention it.
You're probably tired of hearing that all the time, huh?
What are you, crazy? Is it the best?
That's best with a B, right?
Maybe leave the jokes to Mario.
So watch out for these bottom parts here, they will suck you down. You'll end up losing a life. It's just like dropping off of into a pit above ground. How do you hold your breath for so long, by the way, Mario?
It's standard plumber training.
Alright. Anyway, I don't want to embarrass you or anything, Mario, but I can't help but notice you look quite a bit different now than you looked in the 80s.
What are you trying to body shame a Mario?
No. I mean, you look, you have more depth now, I guess.
You were referring to the fact that the Mario is now a 3D when he used to be a 2D.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say. A lot of flying fish in this level. Generally the best tactic, besides having a mushroom, which we got right there, is just to keep moving. Generally, if you're moving at full speed, they're not going to be too much of an issue. It's more when you slow things down that you are more susceptible to a fish coming up and hit you. But if you're running at full speed, you kind of tend to go with the fish rather than against them, if I can say that. But anyway, but you look good, Mario. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make things weird.
Well, if you check the history books, you will find that most folks were two-dimensional in the 1980s. Actually, now that I think about it, don't look it up.
Fair enough. Here at 2-4 now, the second castle level. Get the fire flower here. And we can use this, if we can keep it, to take down Bowser like Gary said. See how many shots it takes. What do you think, Mario? What's your guess?
I'm gonna say 5 fireballs.
Alright, 5 shots. Bank it. See how this goes. That's 2, 4. Still got it, Mario. Man.
It's muscle memory. What else can I say? Except all this to rescue another stupid mushroom person.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice either, Mario. Alright, 3-1. This is a special level because, well, first, it's our first night, quote-unquote, level here, but at the very end, there's going to be a bit of a hack, which you may or may not know about, class. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mario?
Please, how do you think I'm still alive today?
Alright, I think you gave it away there. We are talking about the famous Super Mario Bros. Life hack, where you can get infinite extra lives, essentially, if you do it right. At least a whole bunch of extra lives. So, there's a mushroom in one of these. We don't need the mushroom, this is just a little insurance. As always, I need to get Blaze in here in a second, actually, but it's right here at the end of the level, and right here. Let's show how this works. So you can do this on either Koopa, but you probably just want to do it on the second one, so you don't have that distraction. You stop it on one of the steps, and then as close to the edge as possible, and then move into the step beneath it, go over as far right as you can, and just start jumping. You want to make sure you don't go to the right after you've jumped, otherwise you'll risk knocking away the Troopa shell, but if you do it just right, you hit that sweet spot, and the point total keeps multiplying exponentially until you're picking up 1-ups every single time. Just like that. And it just keeps going. Just be sure you don't go too far to the right, otherwise you risk knocking it away, so it'll bank off the right and just go off to the left into the pit there. So just keep this going for as long as you have time for, basically. We are still on the timer there. And if you want to die and earn some more lives, do it again the second time. You can go ahead and do that. Basically get infinite lives that way. And then you'll notice we have a little crown icon there to designate that we have more than 10 lives. But that is the Super Mario Bros. 3-1 life hack.
I live by it.
Good one, Mario.
No, I'm not joking. Like I said, I'm literally still alive because of that hack.
Fair enough. Seriously, Mario, what is going on with those fireworks? You can't tell me?
Ugh, fine. Bring in the cat if you have to.
You sure?
Yes, it's fine.
Love, just be respectful.
I'm always respectful, Professor. So the fireworks are triggered only when you beat a level, meaning you grab onto the flagpole with a 1, a 3, or a 6 as the last digit on the clock. That number also determines the number of fireworks which appear, and each firework is worth an extra 500 points. So for all you point sounds out there, always beat the level with a 6 as the last digit on the clock to get an extra 3,000 points. Though this could be difficult if you're also trying to go for the top of the flagpole for the maximum 5,000 points for beating the level.
Thank you, Fluff. And there was 1 on the clock there, and we got 1 firework, so that checks out. But speaking of the top of the flagpole, Mario, we've almost cleared it a couple times. Have you ever gone straight over?
Yeah, once I did.
Wow, what's on the other side?
I don't know, I blacked out.
Whoa, what happened next?
I woke up in Tijuana.
Professor, you were wondering what would happen if you jumped over the flagpole completely? Well, not to discredit Mario's Tijuana story, but if you clear the flagpole, the level just goes on indefinitely until the timer runs out and you die.
Sounds like Tijuana to me.
Yeah, well, anyway, I figured I'd also mention this because there's a lot of platforms on this level. It's partly where the term platforming came from, but before being labeled as a platformer, Shigeru Miyamoto used the term athletic game to describe the gameplay used in games like the original Mario Brothers. After making a handful of other games, Miyamoto wanted to create a more advanced athletic game featuring a scrolling screen, colorful, i.e. not just black backgrounds, and larger characters. When deciding on the theme for this ambitious project, Miyamoto's relatively new co-designer Takashi Tezuka suggested using the character of Mario based on the positive sales figures of the original Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, who else was he going to use? The guy from Ice Climbers? Give me a break.
It's good to see it hasn't all gone to your head, Mario. It's actually good to see that you still have a head, considering all the bricks that you've thrown it into over the years, but anyway. Another castle down. Another mushroom person rescued. Don't worry, Mario, we'll find your princess. As we are almost halfway through the game here in 4-1. Here was another one of those colorful screens that Fluff was referring to, that Miyamoto was looking for, and there's a Lakitu dropping in those spiny eggs, which become spinies when they touch down. Best way to deal with Lakitu is just to burn right through the level so that his enemies never have a chance of hitting you. See if we can jump right over those piranhas even when they're at the double height right there. And just like that, that's the best way to handle 4-1. So if you're going for the most efficient way to beat this game, you could take that warp that we showed you in 1-2. That would take you to 4-1 at the farthest if you want it to go that far. And then you play 4-1 and you head into 4-2, another underground level. And this is where you'll find the second warp in this game, where we can jump ahead to 8-1 if we want to. We'll show you where this is. Grab ourselves a fire flower here. And it's just on the other side of this platform area here, so we want to be careful with the bricks that we hit here. It's this one right here that we want to hit, and if we climb that beanstalk, that will take us, ultimately, it'll take you to an area where there are more warp pipes, and you can warp ahead to 8-1 if you want to. So you only have to play, what, like 6 levels in this game if you want to? 6 or 7, just doing all the warping and just basically burning through. We can't hurt those little buzzy beetles with our flames. They are protected. One of the few enemies we can't hurt. But there you go. We're going to continue along with the linear route in this game. And since we ended that on a 4, there shouldn't be any fireworks. There we go. Checks out. Alright, 4-3. Definitely a theme going on here with all the mushrooms. And speaking of mushrooms, let's bring in our resident item expert Blaze to talk about the very limited but very, very famous items of Super Mario Brothers. Blaze, what can you tell us?
Let's talk about the basic items in Super Mario Brothers. Kind of a dream of mine to be talking about some of the greatest items in video game history, but we start off with the mushroom. You know what it does. It makes Mario bigger, lets him take an extra shot basically before he dies, and it lets him destroy bricks with his head when he's all grown up. Then we have the fire flower, which allows you to shoot out fireballs from your hands or wherever they're coming from, but Very, very effective as an offensive or defensive maneuver. Then we have the Star, which grants you temporary invincibility and plays a very excellent theme song in the background, which we all know, by the way. Then you have Coins, 100 of which earns you an extra life. And then you have the 1-Up Mushroom, kind of rare in this game, but it will earn you an extra life. And I just gotta ask Mario, what is it like when you take one of those mushrooms? What happens? What does it feel like?
It feels great. It feels like you could get hit by a bullet and still survive. I'll get you some.
You're the man, Mario. You are the man. Thank you.
I like that guy, Professor.
Oh yeah, Blaze is great. But you know, I realize we're halfway through this game, and I forgot to put up the Briggs notes, the keys to beating Super Mario Brothers. I think, class, you'll forgive me, given the circumstances. There's a lot of excitement going on today, so let's put them up now, actually. Better late than never. Here are the Briggs notes for Super Mario. As you can see, first and foremost, if possible, get the Fire Flower and keep it as long as you can. Slow play it, basically. I know we have that timer up there in the top of the screen counting down, but very rarely is it actually an issue, and you just kind of focus on taking your time and always be firing ABF, taking out the enemies with your Fire Flower. You can actually make it last quite a long time. You'll be glad you have it on certain levels with the Hammer Brothers and enemies like that. Number 2, get infinite 1-ups on level 3-1, which you showed you already, and of course, hold A plus start to continue, which we covered in the controls. And lastly, warp ahead in levels 1-2 and 4-2 to either just make this game a bit faster or just to kind of ease off the difficulty of having to play through a lot of the middle worlds, which are very challenging in their own right. So you only have to technically play through the entirety of the final world, starting with 8-1 if you do the warping. But there you go, the Briggs notes for Super Mario Brothers. Not a whole lot we can tell you in terms of tips like that beyond that, when this is a pretty straightforward platforming game. Actually, I even forgot to give the difficulty estimation of this game. Mario, I'll defer to you in this case. This is your game. Where do you stack this on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of difficulty? You've been in a lot of games over the years, a lot of adventures, a lot of platformers, different types of games. Where would you put this in a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of difficulty?
Oh, you're making Mario decide. Well, I guess I'd have to say, it's not the lost levels, so maybe I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
5?
A 5 out of 10 is good.
Okay, so that equates to throwing your controller across the room on the frustration scale.
Well, I had to say, if you were throwing your controller across the room, you got some anger issues, buddy. Gotta work through those.
Well, it's just a testament to how much people care about this game. Speaking of which, let's learn a bit more about it with another fluff fact. Fluff?
So I just want to say a bit more on the influences which came together to help shape Super Mario Brothers. First off, you were talking about mushrooms earlier and wondering what is with the obsession with mushrooms in Super Mario Brothers. Where did that idea come from? Well, first off, when they were designing the game, they wanted Mario to be prominent on the screen. They wanted to make a big character which was, easily identifiable versus other games where everything just seems so much smaller. To just be this big, colorful character. But when they made it, he was too big, so they wanted to be able to make him smaller. So when they had the small Mario and the big Mario, they liked the idea of transitioning between the two, and they wanted to know, how could we trigger this, basically? And the concept of the mushroom came into play because, in Miyamoto's words, it's more of a staple in kind of fantasy stories and things like that. Mushrooms are always present. And you can take a very obvious example in Alice in Wonderland. She eats the mushroom and she grows. For whatever reason, Miyamoto has come out and explicitly stated they did not steal that idea from Alice in Wonderland. But again, it's just more of a mushrooms exist in these stories, and that's sort of just how they put those pieces together to make Mario grow. So do with that information what you will, but aside from that, Super Mario Brothers is the culmination of several successful ideas used in existing Nintendo titles. So, the floating conveyor belt-like platforms, those were taken from Donkey Kong. The ability to speed up between walking and running, those That was taken from the acceleration mechanic from Excitebike, and many of the enemies and the concept of the Mega Block, those were taken straight out of the original Mario Brothers. I also mentioned Kung Fu earlier. Miyamoto wanted to expand on the side-scrolling and colorful concepts of that game, and has flat out stated how important Kung Fu was on influencing Super Mario Brothers. You can actually check out our recent class on Kung Fu as well by checking out the official Video Games 101 playlist. So there you go, Professor. By the way, Professor, I updated the trope list and made sure to put Super Mario Brothers on there. It's a pretty big one.
I'm sorry, Fluff. My English isn't perfect. Does trope mean best-selling video game series of all time? Because that's what a Mario is.
Stupid plumber.
So Mario, I'd be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts on the 1993 live-action Mario movie.
Did not quite capture the essence of a Mario. I mean, when you think of Mario, Super Mario Bros., you think colorful, fun, good times. Not a drab, fungi-covered dystopian universe where Toad is a punk rock douchebag and everything sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie by any stretch of the word. But what do you think of Hoskins playing you?
Well, no disrespect to the late, great Bob Hoskins, may he rest in peace, but Mario would have done a much better job in that role. They didn't even give Mario a chance.
Well, I don't want to embarrass you here, Mario, but I happen to know on good authority that they did give you a chance and that you did audition for that role, and we actually happen to have a bit of your screen test here, if you don't mind showing it.
Oh my god, Mario hasn't seen that since the 90s. Go ahead and show it. The people will see. They'll decide for themselves in your class.
Alright, here's Mario's screen test.
Oh no, it's very bad. I'm falling. Oh, this is very bad. Oh, catch me, John Leguizamo. Oh, you missed, you bastard, John Leguizamo. Oh no, I'm falling. Oh, fuck, gosh, you better catch me this time. Oh, good job, John Leguizamo.
Good catch, huh, Mario? I should try out for the Yankees.
I'd high-five you, but then you'd be an only child. Go ahead, you gonna say it. It was a crap.
No. It was, let's get back to the game and we can talk about it.
But I still would have done a better job than Hoskins. I'm the real thing, after all.
So, by that logic, Nelson Mandela should have played himself in that biopic.
Nelson Mandela can't act for a Goomba's nose hair. I could do it. It was 2D discrimination.
I don't think that's a thing.
Oh, easy to say coming from a guy who's probably been 3D his whole life. Is Mario right?
Well...
Exactly. So don't talk to a Mario until you lose a depth.
Okay, fine. So they discriminated against you. You know, that's not right.
Blessed they said Mario was too short. How can the guy the character is based on be too short?
Why didn't you just pop a mushroom like you normally do?
I'd have just gotten out of court-ordered rehab. Forgive Mario for trying to better himself.
I mean, it might have also had something to do with the fact that you swore a lot, and that was like a 20-second clip, and you swore like 3 times.
Mario likes to ad-lib. It felt more real.
Yeah, but it's it's supposed to be for kids and a family movie. Sometimes it's better just run and gun, by the way, with Bowser there, especially when you're small. Just work that gap and get out of there quickly. But also, I noticed that you kept calling Luigi's character John Leguizamo.
That's his name!
It's the actor's name, but, directors and casting agents and, well, pretty much anyone who goes to see movies usually likes the actors to stay in character during the filming, at least.
Well, that's not fair!
Yeah, well, anyway. Let's get back to the game. Anyway, I don't even know if your performance could have saved that film, Mario, for what it's worth. But here we are in 7-1, and working with a lot of Hammer Brothers now. And when they're bunched up like that, you can just stay close for the most part. Not going to try to go for any fire flowers here. As long as we have the mushroom, we're good. And here we go. 7-1 down. I think we have a water level coming up next. Time to hold your breath again. I don't really understand how these castles connect. Just, you go in one side, you come out the other, and you're seemingly in the exact same place. But anyway, this pipe emptied right into the ocean here, and usually a good rule of thumb for these water levels is just stay low. No enemy. At least these squids, they cannot reach the bottom of the sea floor. if you just duck, and we're kind of in a... Yep. There you go. Significant shrinkage in the water there, eh, Mario?
Yes, when Mario get hit by an enemy, he gets smaller.
No. I was just making the Seinfeld reference.
What the heck is Seinfeld?
It was a pretty big sitcom in the 90s.
Sorry, the 90s were one of Mario's most successful decades. Mario was a little too busy to watch TV. Notice Mario said one of his most successful decades.
Yeah. Is it just me, or are you talking more and more in the third person as this class goes on?
Mario doesn't know what you are talking about.
Fair enough. Let's say we bring in Fluff for one last Fluff fact, while we have another cheap level here to, remember, just keep up the tempo on, basically. But Fluff, what do you got for us?
So data space was at a huge premium when designing Super Mario Brothers. The game was limited to 256 kilobits for its program code and data, and just another 64 kilobits for graphics. This all equates to about 4% of a megabyte, so this meant that some clever workarounds were necessary to keep data sizes limited. Since every sprite ate up more of that space, certain elements had to be reused, like Goombas look the same whether they're going up or left or right or dying upside down, it's all the same. And the same sound effects were used for Mario shrinking after taking damage and going down a pipe. Yep, believe it or not, it is the exact same sound effect.
Yeah, that Shigeru Miyamoto is a genius.
That's why I call him the Wizard.
Oh, you call him the Wizard?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so note the precise route that we are taking here. This is how you advance this level, otherwise it just keeps going in circles, so you might find yourself the first time playing this level going a little crazy, wondering why you can't get to Bowser. That would be why. And this is going to be tricky. You have no power-ups here. I'm going to try to gap. There you go. Probably the safest move when you're small is going underneath. And this should be the last time that we rescue a mushroom person and here the princess is in another castle. It's gotta be exhausting hearing that time after time, isn't it, Mario?
Yes, I take a bait and switch a Mario 7 times. You have to understand, Mario's very horny at this point. It's not cool.
No, I understand that. Anyway. So we're finally here at 8-1, the final stretch. These are the 4 hardest levels, as you'd expect in all of Super Mario Brothers. Pop in here and get some more coins, but at this point I don't think we're too worried about lives. We're actually working on a no-hitter.
I didn't want to say anything, Mario. No, I want to jinx you, but you're very good.
Wow, that's high praise coming from the man himself. Thank you very much, Mario.
I don't mention it, but don't die either.
Really does help to have a fire flower. And going back to the Briggs notes for some of these final levels, you'll see why in just a moment. There's some very tricky jumps occurring here. Tiny little, right there, one Mario-sized islands, basically. Have to be careful. Take your time here. Usually the instinct is just to burn right through these levels, but right there you do want to do some careful stepping. There are only 3 levels to go here in Super Mario Bros. 1. We can take down this Lakitu early and pretty much knock him out of commission for most of this level if we're moving quick enough. There's a 1-up right there. We're just going to burn right past that again. We're going to operate on the assumption that we don't need this, but this is, and the next level, 2 of the most difficult, probably the 2 most difficult in the game. Gonna get this mushroom here to make sure we don't lose it instantly. Take cover from the bullets. And this is a tricky jump, actually, right here, because you need some speed. We can just go in this play just to knock out a bit more of the level, basically. That's the only reason we're doing that. Very, very small shortcut, but we'll take what we can get at this point. And remember, these cannons don't fire, and we lost the mushroom there. Cannons don't fire when we're rubbing up on them. Makes them uncomfortable or something. Alright, 8-3, probably the most difficult level if you don't have a fire flower, so this is going to be tricky. Good news is, even if you are small Mario at this point, we can find a mushroom and then a fire flower. in short succession. Just gotta make sure we hold on to them. Best way to approach these Hammer Brothers is to get aggressive on them. From the start, just come up on them. Then when there's only one, just get close. If you leave them alone for long enough, little fun fact, mini fun fact, they will eventually start coming toward you. Just seems like, they just keep their distance and throw the hammers, but eventually they get restless and they come after you. So, alright, so I think we can get our fire flower up in this area here. There it is. Alright, so get these 2 items, keep them, and then just basically keep firing for this next stretch, because it's just going to be several Hammer Brothers after another, and because there's no platforms for them to go up or down on, they're always going to be on that level, so it's more difficult to take them on without the fire flower. So, alright, Mario, final world, how you feeling? You feeling confident?
I'm feeling good, very good. If I can make one small request.
Sure, name it.
Could you beat Bowser while Mario is still big? I want to be in the right, well, it's just a frame of mind when we meet the princess.
I will certainly try, Mario. So this is a tricky castle, probably the sneakiest, because there is a certain track you need to take. It's very easy to, because a lot of things look similar, it's very easy to go in circles here. So we want to hit this block here and get up into this pipe. This takes us to this area. And if you go in the wrong pipe, some of these pipes allow you to go down into them, and they'll send you back to an earlier part, and you'll just keep going on and on and on. So we take this pipe here and go underwater. There's that underwater fire one more time. Then again, we're shooting fire underwater, so I guess it's as long as we get to do it too. Just take your time, stay low here. And now we have fire for this final stretch. Take down that Hammer Brother, and as usual, Bowser has it too. You want to use fire here or go over him? What do you want to do, Mario?
I don't care, just shoot him or get past him. Just stay back. Oh, Professor, Mario asks you to do one thing! One thing!
I'm sorry, Mario, but come on, we beat it. That's the main thing, right? You rescued the princess in a no-death run.
Yeah, but it's hard to get the princess you're saving to take you seriously when you only come up to her knees.
I'm sorry, Mario, but, hey, great game.
Yes, it was. And can you believe that I actually thought that was going to be the last time I have to defeat that turtle?
Bowser you're talking about.
Are you just saying you put a turtle in hot lava? He's not going to be in the sequel.
Well, let's not put our turtles in hot lava, okay, class?
And let me tell you, if they had the balls to tell Mario that the princess was in another castle here, I was ready to go donkey shit. You know what I'm saying, Professor?
Yeah, let's give one last round of applause for our special guest for today's class, everybody. Mario.
Hey, that was very good. Let's do it next time. In the sequel, I mean.
Yeah, we'll call you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video, and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.